Hey everybody, I am back from COVID and back with another really important and fundamental video in Excel. Our topic for today is working with tables, and this is something that is so beneficial, so easy to do, and yet I see so many people neglecting it. So please don't be one of those people. Put your raw data into tables. If you ever work with any data in Excel, then my goal for today is to explain why all of your raw data must be in tables. And I hope that after watching this video, using tables becomes like second nature to you. It's something you'll never forget to do again. This should be step one of any report, dashboard, data analysis, or whatever you're creating. Putting your raw data into tables should be like getting out of bed in the morning. You can't go anywhere or do anything until you get that done first. And here's a quick overview of why that is the case. So first, all of your formulas in the tables will be automatically copied down, which is very convenient and also means you don't have to drag anything down. You also have preset formatting options, which won't be covered in today's video because it's not all that important, as most of the time your raw data will not be presented in any of your final reports. And most importantly, you get dynamic input ranges for your formulas and for your pivot tables. And this becomes essential for updating reports with brand new data. This is going to save you a ton of time when you update those reports and prevent you from making careless mistakes. And finally, it becomes very easy to track where your data is coming from when you pull information from your table into other formulas and pivot tables, especially when you give your tables names. So that's it for our quick overview. Now let's get into the tutorial. So for our tutorial today, we have some data on employees and their corresponding sales total for year to date this year, as well as the same time last year, and as well as some information about these employees, so their name and the region they work in. And the difference between these pairs of corresponding tables here in the green and the red down below is nothing right now. So these are currently identical, but in the green, I'm going to make tables out of our data here. In the red, I will not be using tables, and so we can use that to compare and see why tables are so superior. So first, let's go ahead and create our two tables. So we can select our top left cell, Control-Shift right, and Control-Shift down to select the entire array. We don't have any missing values here, so we don't have to worry about anything below. And there are two ways to create our table. First is to go to Insert and Table here, or you can use the shortcut, which is Control-T. And our data does have headers here. We want that checked and we have those selected. If we uncheck that, Excel will assume this first row is actual data for our table, and it will create some automated column headers in a row above that. We don't want that, so let's keep that checked. Hit OK. And we can click into our table here, and up in the Table Design tab, we want to give our table a name so that when we reference our table in formulas and pivot tables, we know where the data comes from. So let's call this our sales table. And then let's go ahead and do the same thing for our employees table. Top left cell, Control-Shift right, Control-Shift down, Control-T to make the table, keep that checked, and hit OK. And we can name this table employees. So now I want to go ahead and calculate the net change between our 2 years worth of data. So we can call this column the delta. And when you type into this cell here to the right of the columns and hit enter, Excel is automatically going to realize that you want to create a brand new column. And now we can write our formula. And this is just simply going to be the 2022 year to date minus our 21 year to date. And notice in the formula up here, these are not actual cell references. It's actually referencing the name of the columns. And so we hit enter. This is automatically going to copy down, which is extremely convenient. So now let's go ahead and pull in some more information. So I want to bring in the name of the employee and the region they work in. And rather than creating new columns over on the left here, I'm going to bring them in over on the right. And the reason being is this is your raw base table here. So chances are when you get this new data updated and you pull it in, it's going to be in the same exact order. So employee ID 2022 and 2021. So when you copy paste it in, you want to maintain this order so that you don't have to play around with your raw data. So even though it may be more convenient to put employee name in between A and B here, it's not actually helpful for your table in the long run. And the vast majority of the time, you won't be presenting your raw data in any sort of final report. So I would recommend adding any extra columns on the right instead of putting them in between any existing columns. So let's bring in the employee name and the region. And for these, we'll use XLOOKUP. So if you haven't seen my tutorial on XLOOKUP, go ahead and do that now. Link to that will be in the description. Also a very fundamental and useful Excel skill. So let's go ahead and write that formula. So we're going to be looking up this employee ID, and within this employees sheet, here is our employee ID column. And a really handy shortcut is with tables here. If we click in any cell in this column, it doesn't matter if it's here, here, or wherever, you can then hit the shortcut Control Space, and that will select your entire column. So if you look at this formula here, it's not referencing cells. Again, it's referencing your employees table and the employee ID column. And now we want to return the name. So same thing, click anywhere into that column, Control Space. If not found, we can just return a blank string, close parentheses, hit enter, and this is automatically copied down. So let's go ahead and do the same thing for the region. Control Space, return the region, Control Space. If not found, just a blank string. In this case, that argument doesn't really matter. Close parentheses, hit enter, and that automatically copies down. So now let's go ahead and do the same thing with our sales sheet without columns. So we want the delta, and the formula for that is going to be 22 minus our 21. And now we need to copy this formula down. So again, the difference in this formula, these are actual cell references. And now we want the name and the region, and we'll use XLOOKUP for this. But now, because we're not using tables, we need to write some absolute cell references as well. So it gets a little bit trickier. So XLOOKUP, we want the employee ID, and so that we can copy this over to the right, let's use F4 like that. So we want that to stay looking up the employee ID, so this can copy down but not over to the side. And our lookup array is going to be in this employees table here. So select this cell, Control Shift down to get to the bottom, and we want this completely locked. And our return array is going to be the name, and let's allow that to be copied over to the right but not down. If not found, just an empty string and close parentheses, and we should be able to move this over to the right and copy that down, and now we have this information pulled in. So now let's do a little bit of analysis on our data. And a quick disclaimer here, I don't recommend doing this all in the same sheet here. In general, I would recommend that you keep your raw data alone in a sheet and do any sort of analysis in other sheets. But to keep this tutorial simple and easy to read, we'll all keep it in the same sheet here. So let's just calculate in this cell here, I4, the total net change in sales from 2022 to 2021. And that is just going to be the sum of our delta column here. So click into it and Control Space. So again, our formula references the column of our sales table rather than actual cells. So we can hit enter, and let's do the same thing for the non-table sheet. Control Shift down, and we have the same number for now. So now let's go ahead and also add in a quick pivot table. So you want to click in anywhere in our table here. We can go to Insert and then Pivot Table. we want from a table/range. And notice it already has our table name specified. So again, these are not actual cell references, it's referencing our table. So if our table changes in size, our pivot table is still going to be able to update without us having to go back in and change the input range. And again, for simplicity, we'll keep this on the same sheet, and we can go ahead and put that over, let's say here. And I want the total sales for this year and last year grouped by the region. So it's a very simple pivot table. And let's go ahead and do the same thing for our non-table sheet. And this time we actually have to select an input range. So let's Control-Shift right, Control-Shift down, and our location will be on this same sheet. Again, not a good practice, but just for this tutorial. Hit OK, and let's reproduce that same pivot table. So total sales by region. So now, right now, these are the same reports, but this is a very basic and important sales report that more than likely you're going to have to update. So now let's bring in our new updated data. So I have this hidden. Here's our new data sheet. And if we notice in our sales table here, currently we have 25 employees shown. But if we look at our employees table, we actually have 28. So we have our 2 employees down here who are brand new hires. And these employees in our old data have been hired, so they appear in the employees table, but they haven't actually made any sales yet, so they aren't showing up here in the sales sheet. But that's going to change with our new updated data. So you come down to the bottom here and you see that these employees have sold $540 and $398 worth respectively. So the way we can pull in new data is with a simple copy paste. And again, this is why you don't want to change the order of the columns in that original table. Because when you requery this data and you get it again, it's probably going to be in that same order. So you want to maintain that to make your life easy. So don't select the headers here. You don't need those. Just Control-Shift right, Control-Shift down. Let's copy that data. Go into our sales sheet. And we're going to click into this top cell here, right click on that and paste values. And you can scroll down and see that this data has automatically populated for our 2 new employees, as well as updating for the rest of our employees. And Excel has automatically realized that this is part of our table. So all this work is done for us. So if we go and do the same exact thing for our other table, let's make sure that's copied. Right click on that cell, paste values. When we scroll down, this information has not populated. So we actually have to go in to these cells and drag our formulas back down. And you might think, well, that seems like a small thing. And for one new data pull, that is. But you also might be working with reports or dashboards where you have 5, 6, maybe 10 data pulls to update your report. And this gets very cumbersome, and there's a very good chance you might forget to do one of these things, and that can lead to a really careless error. And here's why. So in our total net change here, this cell reference is still going just down to row 26. So this is now outdated information. And if we compare that to our sheet here with the table, it's selecting our entire table. So this new delta is we're down, was that 14.8K compared to 15.7. So this is now out of date. So you also have to go back into any formula that references your tables here and change the cell reference. And if you have a lot of formulas in a big report, there's a very good chance you're going to forget one of those things, which is, again, not only is this going to save you a ton of time, but it's going to prevent you from making these careless mistakes. And for our pivot tables, it's not quite as easy, but you can click into the table here, go to Pivot Table Analyze, and hit refresh. And now our new data is populated. So if we compare that to our sales table here, you can see the change. And this has not taken place. So you actually have to go back into this pivot table and change the input range. So this gets very tedious, and these are a lot of steps you don't want to have to do. So instead, just put your data into tables. It makes your life so much easier, saves you so much time, and will prevent you from making these careless mistakes. So that is the end of the tutorial today. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and you want to see more of this content in the future. And please, in the future, put your raw data into tables. It'll just make your life so much easier. And of course, subscribe to the channel to see more of this content. And as always, thanks for watching.